haven't got any M-O-N-E-Y. What? I used up my allowance.
Hello one and all to another episode of Deep Law. Today we're going to be discussing the conspiracy that the lottery exists to catch time travellers. Now, this is a not very well known conspiracy, and that's because there's very little document, if any at all, to prove that this is a conspiracy on any level. However, it often shows up in conspiracy icebergs, and that's why I'll cover it just so people have an understanding of it. However, compared to the previous ones I've done where there is some explanation from it, this will be very, very limited in what I can offer you. So essentially, the name itself describes the conspiracy very well. It's a belief that the lottery has such few winners, at least that win the jackpot, that the governments have the time to go through these very small pockets of individuals and run brief background checks onto them and seeing if their history expands more than a few days or a few weeks or a year. In which case, if there isn't much background on them, it would be a safe bet to assume, under the presumption that time travel does exist, that they could be a time traveller. Now, many people would say that maybe this doesn't have as much evidence behind it because of how unlikely it is to win the lottery, and then if you do win and you do end up becoming a time traveller, before your name is even announced to the public, the government could interfere and move you on to a secure facility somewhere, so you wouldn't be able to tell people about this system. Now, another strange thing is governments often have like paranormal branches. So there's branches that specifically focus on potential alien contact, and there's branches that I'm sure have prepared for in the event that somewhat in the future there could be the potential for time travel. So realistically, a government organisation or a government branch running a quick background check on such a small group of names wouldn't be something that would be so totally outrageous that it could not be true. And that's why I do think, strangely enough, I'm not one that goes straight for conspiracies, but I do think it would be so insignificant if they did just run a quick background check on everyone that happens, and it wouldn't surprise me if it did, especially because the whole concept of time travel is one that is questioned when it comes to quantum mechanics, and people believe that there's a chance that it could occur at some point in the future. Now, like I said, there's absolutely no evidence for this. I think it must just be something that someone thought up. The only problem is whenever you try and do any kind of research, there are no actual websites that speak about this, even your like 1995 like format websites that typically have these kind of conspiracies on. There's just link after link of writing prompts on subreddits that say write a story based on the idea that the lottery is there to catch time travellers. So it very much dilutes any search results that there would be, meaning that there's not really much more I can say about this conspiracy. So apologies if it's a short one. As I said, I wouldn't have done it because there is absolutely no evidence based on this, but it shows up in conspiracy icebergs with such a frequency that I'm sure some people have seen it before and not quite understood what it meant, despite the title being very descriptive on its own. So if you take anything from this video, just take that there's no evidence for the conspiracy that you'll often see on the iceberg. It's just it would require so little from the government to make this conspiracy a real concept, so it's somewhat believable in a way. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learnt something today. If you liked it, leave a like, and if you want, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. We're going to work our way down the conspiracy iceberg and try and find some interesting conspiracies. and I'd love for you to come along with me.